If you had to go direct, what gear would you use? Hey, that's pretty good. If you had to go direct, who said that?
I'd go directly to the amp with the cable.
Henu back.
I saw the question, but I don't.
God, I'm terrible with names, man.
You
I
are,
feel,
man.
Well, no, because it's disrespectful to mispronounce somebody's name. Well, if you
Dude,
do it on
how many
purpose.
times? Yeah,
If you do it on purpose,
it doesn't
but-
bother me at all as many times as everyone says Wampler.
Yeah.
Wampler.
Well, that's your own damn fault. I was with you at LJ at
That's your fault for
LJS.
your last name.
Yeah.
we were at LJS one time and somebody called and you thought it was just a prank call and you go, actually, it's a Wampler. He's like, Mr. Wampler, this is Wampler, and that was somebody pedal
It was a
related.
customer. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's.
You're like, oh crap, he's gonna spread that.
totally-
I
that's-
called him and he said Wampler. But no, if you had to go direct, I'll make this real quick, and then you actually even liked it. What do you call it? Band axle,
Oh, back sandal.
back sandal,
Bamboozled.
back sandal. But anyways, there's this thing when I was touring in England. I stopped by this company, believe it or not, they're called JHS.
Yeah, there's another JHS in England. Yeah.
Right, yeah. And John Hornsby's
Skews?
yes.
Was it? Yeah.
And I used to know a guy
yeah.
named Gavin Colson that used to work there. And he was nice enough whenever I'd come over there to help me out with gear and stuff whenever I tour. And he hooked me up with this guitar by a company called Fret King. It was a great guitar. And then he gave me this little thing that was called a Little Smasher by Diago. And it was...
Yeah, the little amp thing.
Yeah, and it's a 5-watt amp the size of a pedal that you could put on your board. And I still have it. I still use it. I mean, it's 9 volts. It runs off 9 volts. But it's an amp. It goes out to your speaker cab and then everything else into it. And that's my backup.
That's your backup.
That's my backup.
But you
so
d-
if I had to go direct,
Right.
that's what I go into. And it's pretty inexpensive.
You would, in this day and age, that would be your go-to. Like so let's say,
If my amp quit and I was through a
no, I get that. So I'm saying, let's say you're going to a gig that you know you can't have a mic. What do you do?
Oh, I just pray.
Max!
Not touching that
Max, let me use your amp. Well, I
No.
played the gig too.
one. No, I mean, like,
I blew it up.
If you knew
New
you
amp.
had to go direct in somehow.
Our sound guy is this guy Victor.
Yeah,
and
Victor's
he's got
awesome.
so much gear that I could basically just hand him a cable, and just say, "Hey, here you go." So I mean, we're pretty lucky in that, but I mean, we pay for it too.
Yeah.
It's not like it's this huge luxury that we just have sound guys.
So
he
would
makes
you
more
want
money than
you'd
I.
want him to
Three
use an
times more
EQ to
money.
do it then?
Say what?
You'd want him to use like an EQ of some sort? Like,
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Like if he had to direct in.
right.
Yeah, because I
Because-
don't have a cab sim or anything like that. I guess I would just. I have done that before through a. Do you remember these Mackie 808s, the powered heads, the powered mixers?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, well, I still have one. We still use it. And there was a time I had to go into the high Z input of that.
Just turn the highs down.
Yeah, exactly. Turn
Yeah.
the highs down, kills a lot of the mids,
Right.
and then boost the lows.
Right.
And then just crank it, and then
Make it work.
just make it work with your pedals. So I guess that's what I would do in a very emergent situation.
Yeah.
Just go straight into the
See,
board.
I'm surprised that you guys haven't really messed with impulse responses because
See, that's the thing.
yeah.
I'll admit. Okay, so I stopped working for you in 15, maybe?
is that long ago?
Well, I see it. I'll be gone 2 years in February.
No,
And you quit about a year before
has
that.
it been that long? It's been
Was it
2
15
years.
or
2 years
16?
in February.
And I
So that'd be 16 for me.
so 15 probably for
15
me.
for you.
Yeah, so you got to admit, since 15, impulse responses,
Yeah, it's a totally different game.
it's totally different. So I be honest with you, I am ignorant. I would love to sit around and pick your brain about
Oh,
it.
man.
Because I hear, like, my favorite guitar player in the world right now is Sean Tubbs.
Yeah,
That guy.
Sean's fantastic.
I'm not look. I'm not saying he's the best because that's a huge discussion open to debate. But I will say there's no one better. There's no one doing.
He's at the top of his game for sure.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that guy is. I got a funny story about him too, but he's a funny guy. I used to send him messages and messages. I mean, just annoy the. Shit
Did
out
you
of
really?
him. Oh yeah, because I wanted guitar lessons.
He's a super nice guy.
Oh, and he would always answer.
Yeah.
But he's funny because he was talking. He's like, man, I think I might do this like guitar consultant or coach thing more than lessons. And I said, well, if you ever need a guinea pig, let me go or let me know. He goes, do you raise them? and I know he was just being funny, but I was like, How do I rip?
Do you want to get any big? Because I could.
Yeah, it's like, if you want one, Sean, if it means guitar lessons, I will find you a guinea pig with nail polish.
No, I mean, like for me, like if I was in your guys' situation, I would have my amp. I'd probably like again captor right behind Max.
Can I back you up real
Sure.
quick? Pretend that I know nothing about impulse response. I
Sure.
don't even know what it means.
Yep. I'll explain it
dummy
from
level.
that. So
Okay.
you have your favorite amp. Let's say it's a Marshall something or other,
A
right?
1969 Tremolo 20
Right. So from your speaker out, you go into the captor, okay?
captor.
Which is that device right there. It's an attenuator, okay?
An attenuator / DI kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. From the captor, you go back into your cab, so you still have your amp sound.
So it's kind of a bypass thing.
Well, you could do several different things. But
Okay.
I'm getting to what it allows
Okay,
you to do.
all right, I'll shut
so,
up.
So that way,
Please.
like you still have your amp, you still have the cabinet, you still have the sound on stage, all's good. But now you don't have to screw with some cheesy ass 57 mic or something like that on it. You can run a line out into the mixer, which is attached to, or a 2 notes or anything like that. Anything that has impulse responses. I prefer to do it on like a Mac. But then you could run that into the mixer, which is attached to the Mac. You know, like Macintosh, your Apple, your iMac.
Yeah, sir.
And that way you can have, let's say, like I like to do like 4 or 5, 4 probably impulse responses all at once. That way, like I can get some of the, like a couple different mics up front, one in back, room, like left and right room mics, like all this stuff. So
Okay.
it sounds so absolutely fantastic as long as the impulse responses are great.
Okay, so this sounds like it just has a name now.
Yes.
Like, because
a
Derek,
digital-
Derek Williams.
Yeah.
You know Derek, obviously.
Yeah,
Derek
he's played for
is,
Jake Cohen.
used to
Now
play
he does,
guitar. That's
That's My Gig.
That's My
mygig.com.
Gig, right?
Yeah, which is a great resource for musicians.
Yeah.
Basically, you just sign up for this website, and it's career placement. It's job
career-
placement for
job placement to play in
for real
on
deal
big
professional
stages.
musicians.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the pros.
I mean, the guy from like the utility guy from Florida Georgia Line, like him or not, you know,
Right.
that's a pretty damn big gig. Just
Yeah.
got his cake from That's My Gig.com. But anyway,
Yeah.
when he was playing with Jake Owen, he told me, he was like, man, he said, anymore. He's like, I do have a mic on my cab. He said, but I have it in my left ear, and then in both ears I have this torpedoes thing.
Yeah,
and
the 2 notes. Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Yeah,
so now
the
it has
2
a
notes,
name.
Yeah, the 2 notes uses impulse response files to do that.
So who makes these? Just guys like you
Well,
and me? Or?
anyone can make them.
You're not smart.
Okay, so do what?
You're not smart enough. to make one of those.
So like literally we could put a couple microphones on a cab and create an impulse response file of what it sounds like. In fact, Pete Thorne did a really good video on this.
Okay.
Where he like mic'd up his
There's
amp.
another guy. I'm not saying he's the best, but there's probably no one better.
He's fantastic.
You know
too.
what I mean?
So he mic'd up his amp,
Stop it.
played that, made an impulse response of that, and then played the exact same thing through the impulse response. You couldn't tell a difference at all.
That's crazy.
So what it's basically doing is it's kind of making like a digital file of where, you know, at that point,
Now-
here's what it sounds like when your mic's amped in this situation.
Is that what people are doing with the Axe effects?
It's using impulse responses
So, like,
as well.
because I've heard people say, like, profiles, that word.
Impulse
Are
response.
profiles impulse responses?
Based on impulse response technology, yeah.
Okay. All right, that's starting to make sense.
So yeah. So and that's but you know, you have you know, like we can make an impulse response of running a guitar signal through that beer can and make a reverb. We can make that happen. It would suck, but we can make it happen.
I bet you I could find a use for it in a funk song.
There's all kinds of stuff, impulse responses like that, because you can do reverbs too. In fact, the best reverbs are impulse responses.
Really?
Yeah, oh, it's fantastic.
See,
I'll have to show you
because
this.
Sean Tubbs talks about that a lot. Like, because I'll hear him, but he's so nonchalant in it, and I feel so stupid. But he'll demo some gear, and he'll be like, you know, and I have it doing this, that, and the other thing, and you can use whatever IR you want. But and I'm like, what?
Right.
You know.
So
but
it's just a file. Okay, so imagine it this way. You're running the signal into your computer, and then you're using Logic Pro or GarageBand or whatever
Mm-hmm.
you want to use, and instead of adding a reverb to the track, you're adding an impulse response
so
file.
how do you download these?
You can you can type in download impulse responses and find them for free.
And then how do you
The best ones I found are from rosinaudio.com,
ROSIN?
ROSEN.
Ian? Okay.
Celestion just came out with a bunch of them, which are freaking amazing.
Really?
Yeah,
Now, how
so-
do you? Are they kind
yeah.
of? So are they? This is
They're
how, like
112
VST plugins kind of thing. Like,
Yeah,
how do you?
Yeah,
put them
it'd
into
be
your
just like a
DAW?
VST plugin. Yeah.
Man, I'm
ju-
so behind the times.
Yeah,
Man.
just be just like that. Yep. It's just like an effect you apply to the signal chain, except rather than it being reverb or delay, it's the sound of a guitar cabinet with these mics.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, this just. Yeah.
So that's what people mean when they're like, you can find one that you like. For instance, I know some people, like Sean was talking about, he has one he likes that he runs everything through because he likes the way that cabinet was mic'd or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
That's crazy, dude.
So I mean, it's just so amazing. These Celestion responses are so great. They'll have like 112, 212, 412, like open back, close back,
Off axis,
different types of mics. Yeah, like all these things. So you can get lost in the nerdery, which is what I generally do.
Lost in the nerdery.
Lost in the nerdery.
Where you just listen to the signal, like, okay, so this is what it sounds like with the 57 when it's here on the speaker cabinet. And plus, you have room mics too in
Right.
that same situation, and everything's like all phase corrected, so you don't have to worry about phase. Remember when we would
See,
mic
now-
amps, we used to fight.
my gosh,
You know,
yeah.
mic being an inch away too much. And we're like, oh, now we got to correct for this.
See, I mean, it's probably completely different, but something I've been getting into big time right now is Superior Drummer. I'm still. They came out with Superior Drummer 3. I'm still using.
I
Superior
still need to
Drummer
buy
2.
that. I'm still on the Logic drummer.
Oh man, it is game changer. I mean, I could do a record with Superior Drummer 2, and you'd never know.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, dude. I mean,
I hear everyone say that's fantastic.
it's unreal. And I have electronic drums, so I can literally pick what kit I want and play
play
my
it?
own drums. Yeah.
Wow.
So and it's all real time.
That's great if you can play drums.
But no, I want to know what you've been doing for the last 2 years with your life.
Last
Oh,
two,
Before
That's
I say
one thing
this,
we haven't been 2 episodes now. We haven't
Yeah.
talked about what you guys have been doing.
right?
if you-
It's like
I
we
was
never
like-
left.
I went
Airplanes.
to Google myself, and if you
Yeah,
Google
private.
Travis Feaster, it'll say, "Why did Travis Feaster leave Wampler?
No way.
Yeah.
What does Travis Feaster do now?
Yeah.
Where did Travis Feaster go?" And it's just like, oh my God, I'm not dead, people.
And if you do that for me, it just says who? Question.
If you type it, it just says, "Shut up, Max."
If you type in the chubby kid from Wampler, it'd be like, oh yeah, he died. He died in a car accident. Nobody's
That's
heard
terrible.
from him in 2 years.
You're not a kid.
But yeah, no.
Are you saying when you type in Max, it autocorrects to chubby kid from Wampler? Is that what you're saying?
Shut up, mate.
Seriously though, what you been up to, man?
So man,
you used to go ahead.
I've just been pushing a broom out of college, and sometimes I'll see a hard math equation on a board that nobody can figure out, and I'm like, it just comes to me,
I think that's Goodwill Hunting.
Oh yeah, it is.
Wait. So was one of your friends like? Did you befriend an older guy with really hairy arms?
Brian. Brian's like, no, look at my hairy arms.
No, seriously.
Mickey Rooney's eyebrows.
No, true story. Max was an international arms dealer.
Yeah, I was. I worked in the firearms industry for a while. I don't think anybody can really saw the election going the way it did. Not to get political, but it wasn't a good time to be in a firearms industry. So I actually got out of that. A really weird sales position in Bloomington where I live. It's basically an architectural supply firm. I became an executive sales manager for that company. So that's what I do now. Kind of still a sales gig, but for architectural supplies. So we do like panels and doors. Definitely not as sexy as guitar pedals anymore. Like the most exciting thing I do now is go to door factories in like Iowa.
He's a wood gazer.
Yeah. I do a lot in hardwood.
Do you have to go on
Giggity.
all the Facebook forums to talk about doors and woods and
No,
doorknobs?
No, I actually have people for that now.
Bam.
True story. I got staff. It's a great job. It's one of those jobs. I was like, oh, I saw it, and I was like, I'll apply for it. So I got an interview. They're like, write down what you want salary wise on a piece of paper. So I wrote down what I thought was a high number, so we can negotiate down. They looked at it and said, can you start Monday? I was like,
Damn
I should have gone higher.
damn it! Should ask for more money.
One thing that I think is kind of cool, and
Always put whatever you're going to pay plus $10,000.
yeah, right. Yeah. Now you tell me. But The thing I think is cool. I'm a big hockey fan, and I like the Chicago Blackhawks, as does Max.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And you guys, where the Blackhawks play is a stadium called the United Center, and
Yeah.
your company actually just did all the wood furnishing for the United Center. Right?
Yeah, the locker rooms we do. We did all the millwork for like Notre Dame's locker rooms. We do all kinds of cool.
Let me ask you
stuff.
this.
That's a coincidence because I just played NHL on PS4 the other night.
You probably saw a digital version of what I do for a living.
Let me ask you this: Patrick Kane, you've seen his
Kaner.
Kaner, you've seen his haircut.
Yep.
If he doesn't play hockey, does he get laid?
Yeah, well, see, I don't think it's a haircut. I think he just skates so fast that the hair on the front just falls off.
Maybe, I don't know.
It gets pushed.
Dude
to
could
the
play
back.
the hell out of some hockey.
He can, man.
Look, Brian had to leave.
Brian,
Brian left.
Brian doesn't know what to say. So, welcome to the Max and Travis show.
You know what's so funny is he's going after that last beer.
He really is.
It's not there anymore.
Nope,
Max
Travis.
has it.
Yes, sir. Hey, when you don't get invited back for a podcast for a couple of years, you drink all Brian's beer, right? Brian's like, where the hell's the beer at? You know what?
I went out to get another beer.
It
and
tastes so good.
There's no more. No wonder you guys are having so much fun.
Well, see, hey, think about this. I've been gone for actually, I'll be gone 2 years next month, right?
Oh.
So, like, I've only drank 3 beers over 2 years. You're making up pretty good compared to, like, Nam. Brian and I used to drink, at one point, Chasing Tone was so popular and with the country crowd, we would just walk into a bar in Nashville during Nam, and somebody would be like, Chasing Tones, buy you a shot. And like Brian and I started the night, it was like, all right, we're only going to go for like 1 beer. And then like the end of the night, we've had like 20 drinks. We're riding on the back of a rickshaw. True
What's
story.
a rickshaw?
A rickshaw is like where you
Is that like a Zamboni?
no, it's like a cart that somebody like bicycles or pulls, right?
Oh,
And like
that's right.
I'm like, I'm making this guy earn his money. So like, it was like uphill.
That's right, uphill in Nashville.
He just made us get out. He's like, you can keep your money. You can just walk the rest of the way. He's like sweating, about to have a heart attack. I'm getting drunk in the back of it. Like, it's the best $20 I've ever spent. Oh. Yep. I was, that particular name, I was so hungover the next day. Charles Whitfield guitarist,
Whitliff.
comes up to me and goes, hey, are you on the drugs? So I'm just sweating like profusely. And Walrus Audio, God bless him, they had like this huge crate of like bottled water. I was like, hey, can I have one of those? They're like, yeah, help yourself. So I just grabbed like 10 waters and took it back to New Drake, and they came back for like 10 more. They're like, we just, and I'm just walking away with like a whole case of water. Yeah, that was good times.
I remember Gear Fest. I jumped in one of those tubs of water.
Yes, you did.
The hot coffee spillage.
Yeah, some British guy spilled coffee all over me. Like, who drinks coffee 110-degree weather?
British.
Actually, British usually drink tea.
That's right.
That was kind of a...
That's right. That's terrible. I don't know if that's true or not. But the dude's actually
It's a knee-jerk response now. That's right.
the coffee guy was actually pretty nice. Every Gear Fest, he'd always come up and like tell the same story, and I would laugh because it's funny. Because like when friends get hurt, it's funny afterwards, right?
It's pretty funny at the time too.
No, you were mad for like a year.
I'm still a little upset.
It's gonna say.
You're still scolded. You can't feel anything on that left buttock.
No, it was outside of my leg, man.
He
my
has
ankle.
he has no feeling.
They had to do a skin graft. Now I grow pubic hair down there.
And this is what happens at the end of the night. Actually, I hope when Brian edits this, he just puts in that one part. Like somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, that's clickbait. That's awesome." And that's how I grew pubic down here. Stay tuned for the next Chasing Tone podcast, and you have to watch it. Right? I've been in Monroe County too long. The more I drink, the more I get a little bit of an accident. So that's what I've been up to the last 2 years. Now it's the end of the night. Brian, you can beep that out. It only took us 3.5 hours and a couple beers to get there, but by God, we're there.
We're there. You know something I miss
Doctor.
most about the podcast? The free T-shirts.
Man, yeah, I do.
He said, "Man, yeah."
You know what's funny? I'm wearing one. And what's really funny is I've gained a little weight since. That's not actually really funny. But yeah,
I'm
I
wearing
didn't
one
think
as
we'd be on
well.
video, so I was like, "This is clean. I'm just gonna wear it." And I wish I would have wore something a little more slimming.
Look, I'm going to say it. I am very, very thankful for all the T-shirts that I've received. But Port City and Lotus, people need to take notice of these shirts and up their game a little bit.
Port City shirts are pretty fantastic.
Yeah, that and the
I've
Lotus shirts.
worn mine out. It's like paper thin now.
I know.
I wear it every
They
3
need to
days.
step up their game. I mean, Nordstrom pickups, great T-shirt, great quality T-shirt.
Well, the selection is good.
Yeah, that's a good
Or
one,
Eminence,
too.
excuse me.
Eminence, that's a good. Yeah, I have an Eminence one as well.
My wife
But
took my Port City shirt. She wears it all the time.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
actually, once I got that Port City shirt, we changed all the shirts over to that brand.
Hashtag Triblend.
I think it's next level.
Tri-blend.
In case you're
Next
just
level.
wondering, next level.
Next level Triblend.
Yeah, yeah.
I like a good T-shirt.
It's true.
All right, so wow. I
What
don't
about
have
you?
no ending for that one. I'm just-
Yeah, and that's how Travis got pubic hair.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
this title is gonna be like I don't even know.
Impulse responses and such.
It just
Just
happens.
put and such after. And such.
We'll try that.
Impulses.
What-
Pulses.
Well, thanks for coming out and doing the podcast. I appreciate it.
Man, we do
Yeah,
it
dude,
anytime.
anytime.
Hopefully we can do it again.
Although
Ne-
only another 2 years.
Next time I'll have more beer that you can drink that was supposed to be mine, but that's fine.
Next
That's
time I'm
fine.
going to bring something a little more manly than Budweiser.
I told you, I said I have beer, but it's kind
Hipster.
of beer.
No, I've moved on to bourbon. I'm a professional now.
I found a new drink that I really like.
Peach drinks from Outback Steakhouse. I'm
Absolutely.
a real boy.
Jameson and ginger.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
That's a thing. I
Are
didn't know it
those
was
two
a
people,
thing.
or is that a drink?
Well, no, I got. I
Jameson the ginger.
yeah,
No offense, no offense, gingers. I won't hurt your feelings.
when you
There-
grow
there's
your beard,
gingers
your
out there.
beard's ginger.
It is a little ginger. It is. My mom's
Beard.
a ginger. It's more just from lack of not shaving for 2 weeks.
But Jameson and ginger ale, it's pretty good.
So just get rid of
Not a
ginger
big
ale.
fan of
it's
the
a real
whiskey.
drink.
You don't taste it in the ginger ale.
If you drink enough of it, you're a fan of everything.
You don't taste it.
What's the point of drinking it if you don't taste it? Like, you gotta taste it, right?
I agree with
I
that.
love the taste of it.
As Max used to always say, I don't like getting drunk. I just really like beer, and unfortunately, that's a byproduct.
It really is.
Kind of. What was that one joke? I don't do drugs, but man, cocaine smells fantastic.
Yeah. I used to do drugs. You still do drugs. I used to too. That's a Mitch Hedberg joke.
Yeah.
But,
All right. Well, thanks for coming out. We'll do this again, hopefully.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks. All right. So that's the end of the podcast. We did 2, actually. Had a lot of fun. And so you may not know like the significance of it all. So when we were a smaller company, Travis started working for Wampler Pedals. Then Max later joined on. We decided to do a podcast called Chasing Tone. At that time, there really weren't many gear podcasts, if any. I think there was one called Six String Bliss that was there for a while. They decided not to do it anymore. So we decided to start a podcast. At the time, I think it was pretty unheard of for a manufacturer to start a podcast that wasn't trying to sell anything. They just simply did it for the love of talking about gear. So change is something that's inevitable. I mean, it was great having those guys working for me, and it was always fun to just a bunch of laughs. It was a great time, but as with anything, always expect for things to change. It's got to change. It can never stay the same. In fact, if you put yourself in a position where things are going to stay the same, it's going to actually slow your growth, both as a person, creatively. For me, creatively, I have to have that constant change. That's just how I work, and that's what inspires me to do more, is like that constant tension of security versus change, something new outside of my comfort zone. So yeah, a great time having Travis and Max back. Sadly, those days are gone. But fortunately, these days are here. You know, the one thing I have learned is that if you're going through something, if it's bad, then you think, I can't wait to get out of this. If it's good or just happy or secure, you think this is boring. But when you look back, hindsight, then a lot of people kind of romanticize that and they think, oh man, I wish I missed the good old days. And I think that's a bad way to live. I think it's a bad way to think. I think we have to live for today. I think we need to look at today is the good old days. Let's live for today. Let's remember yesterday and look back on it with fondness, but let's grow and move forward. So I'm really not trying to be like any sort of motivational speaker. Not at all. That's not my thing. Really, all I'm trying to do is give you some insight to the things that I've learned, some of the things that have affected me in my life. And one of the big things is that don't over-romanticize the past. It's so easy to do. Don't get stuck in your comfort zone. Don't get stuck in your patterns. Make sure you're breaking out of that comfort zone and doing new things and trying new things, even when it is so completely uncomfortable to you that you can't fathom the idea of not doing it. Really, that's what it's going to take. And especially if you're young, please listen to me. I have a bunch of kids. I have 5 kids. One of the big things I've tried to impress upon them is don't get stuck in security. So Travis and Max were here. It was great fun. But for me to hold them back and for them to stay because it was fun, it was the wrong thing to do. They left as friends to take on different opportunities in their life. And, you know, I love that. I encourage them to do that. So anyways, I hope this helps. I know it's a little bit of a different video. You know, I mean, we did the podcast stuff, but here I am at the end talking to you about some things that are on my heart that I hope that helps you. And yeah, anyways, hope you guys like it. Please leave a comment below with your thoughts. I love reading the comments. I love getting there and talking to you guys. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching, and talk to you later.